there, awesome folks. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally. Guys, I actually want to talk to you guys today about something. There's a lot of crazy things going on out there in in our correctional facilities. I want to talk to you guys today about the article. Let me go ahead and pull it up here. Gonna share my screen. Let's see here. Okay. This is unfortunate because there's a lot of things that could have been prevented, but I'm looking at this from an HR perspective, obviously. The article that CNN posted says an Alabama corrections officer sold her home days before she disappeared with an inmate. Oh boy. Now investigators suspect a romantic relationship. Let me read the article and then I'm going to give you my thoughts because there's a lot going on here. All right. It says extra food, special privileges that other inmates didn't get. Those are some of the clues that support the belief that the Alabama corrections official, Vicky White, and murder suspect Casey White had a romantic relationship before both disappeared last week, said Lauderdale County Sheriff Rick Singleton. Vicky White, 56, and Casey White, 38, who are not related, went missing Friday morning after she said she was taking an inmate to the courthouse and was planning to seek medical attention because she wasn't feeling well. But the two never arrived at the courthouse. Those are the two right there. Vicky White is now the subject of an active arrest warrant for allegedly permitting or facilitating escape in the first degree, the sheriff said Monday. Authorities believe that the officer and inmate had a romantic relationship that extended into Vicky White's non-work hours, Singleton said. Vicky White had made major financial moves in the weeks leading up to the escape. She had announced plans to retire as the assistant director of corrections and sold her home. Hold on a second. Let me just make a note. Assistant director of corrections. So she was in leadership. All right. Assistant director of corrections and sold her home for a price well below market value. Ding, 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 ding. Red flag. The home was sold on April 18th for $95,550, documents show, while online records with Lauderdale County list the home's total parcel value for $204,000. So you sold the house for half that much. Oh yeah. Despite her retirement plans, her retirement papers were not finalized and she is no longer employed with the county sheriff's office, the department says Wednesday. Here we get to the nitty-gritty. Details of a special relationship emerged, sheriffs say. Vicky and Casey White's relationship traced back to as early as 2020, authorities said when Casey White, who had already been serving time in the state prison, was first brought to Lauderdale County for an arraignment on murder charges related to a 2015 death of a 58-year-old Connie Ridgway. As far as we know, that was the earliest physical contact they had, Singleton said. Singleton said Casey White and Vicky White had a special relationship. That was confirmed in part by other inmates who told investigators Casey White was getting extra food on his trays and was getting privilege no one else got. And this was all coming from her. Hint, hint. The sheriff said the park kept communicating, The sheriff said the pair kept communicating after Casey White was transferred back to the state prison, where he was serving 75 years for a series of crimes in 2015. So homeboy was serving 75. Okay. Casey White returned to Lauderdale County Detention Facility in February to attend court hearings in his capital murder case. Oh, Jesus. Lauderdale County had a policy mandating 2 sworn deputies accompany the inmates at all times, including during transportation to the courthouse. Singleton said that the policy, of course, the policy, there's a whole lot of policies that weren't emphasized. There's a whole lot of policies that weren't followed. We're going to get to that. Singleton said that the policy was emphasized after authorities discovered Casey White had a makeshift knife on him in 2020 and had planned to escape and take a hostage. He's dangerous. But Friday morning, Vicky White ordered that Casey White be prepared for transport, telling the booking officer that since other officers had already left for court and she was the only officer available with a certified firearm, she was going to take him to the courthouse alone. Okay. Being the boss and over the transport, she just informed the booking officer that she was going to carry him to the courthouse and drop him off. He is a hardened criminal. There's a reason they have precautions in place. There's a reason they have policies in place not to carry an inmate by yourself. But let's go on. All right. It says here, she was going to carry him to the courthouse, drop him off, which was a flagrant violation of policy. But I'm sure because it was her boss, the booking officer didn't question it. Policies are created for everybody, even leaders. Okay. The sheriff has described Casey White as an extremely dangerous person and cautioned people not to approach him if they see him and call police instead. Authorities assume Casey is armed because Vicky White was armed. The U.S. Marshal Service warned Tuesday they might have an AR-15 rifle and a shotgun. Guys, I'm going to put the link for this particular video below. You guys can go ahead and read the rest yourself. Well, actually, you know what? Let me go into a couple more. Surveillance video released by the detention center Tuesday, which was yesterday, shows Casey White shackled and handcuffed in an orange jumpsuit being escorted into the back of Miss Vicky White's patrol car Friday morning. From there, Singleton says the pair drove to a shopping center less than 10 minutes away, abandoned the patrol car, and got into a gold copper-colored 2007 Ford Edge SUV. They had their plan, baby. Their plans was in place, honey. And she used her leadership to execute those plans. So sorry. Boy, I tell you. The vehicle has minor damage to the rear left bumper, authorities said. Vicky White bought the car in Rogersville, about 25 miles east of Lauderdale County, and staged it in the accident parking lot the night before their disappearance. Oh, she was ready, honey. She was ready. We know that there was never any effort to go to the courthouse. They went straight to Florence Square parking lot, dumped the patrol car, got into the other car, and left. We assume they are going to ditch that car at the first opportunity when they get wind that the description is out there, the sheriff said. Now we are back to square one. Listen. Let me stop sharing for a second. There's so much to say. Number one, she's the assistant. She's an assistant director for the COs. So she knows better. Number one, you didn't follow policy to have more than one person with you because that's not what you want to do. You're supposed to be taking him to court. You're supposed to follow protocol. But of course, there's a romance that's been brewing since 2020. So that's why breaking policy. And let me go ahead and just say this. Let me go ahead and share this as well. According to, there's more there's a lot of employers. This is why a lot of employers, let me go ahead and get to, yeah. This is the very reason a lot of employers have these type of policies, right? We got this from the SHRN.org website. That's just Society of Human Resources. I'm taking it straight from the horse's mouth, guys. A personal relationship is divided into a relationship between two individuals who have or have not had a continuing relationship of a romantic or intimate nature. An employee who is involved in a personal relationship with another employee, or in this case, an inmate. I didn't think you want to make friends or be in a romantic relationship with inmates. Unfortunately, that's more common than we'd like to admit. But most companies have these type of policies in there. I'll go ahead and just read the rest of it. Employees who involve in personal relationship with another may or may not occupy a position in the same department, work directly or supervise. That's from employee to employee. A lot of these personal, there's so much that can go wrong. Miss White may actually be in danger as well. There's so much wrong with this. She sold her house for half of what it's worth to get her hands on money so she can run away with Mr. Casey. And there wasn't any policies that forbid or prohibit this relationship. Didn't HR get involved? Was there no write-ups in place? Where there's no disciplinary action in place? Yes, she's a director, but directors can be on write-ups too. Let's be clear. Yeah, directors can be on write-ups too, guys. So where was HR? I know that based on how they planned this, it was well executed. Well, not that well. They're on the radar, but executed to the fact that they had the car in the right place. She made sure she was by herself, although that's against policy. And unfortunately, with companies, they will allow a leader to not follow policy. And this is why policies were created, to prevent situations like this. This situation could have prevented, this could have been prevented before the relationship got to this level. If they said stuff was going on from 2020, that CO, I don't care if she's director or not, they needed to know, number one, have a conversation with her. If they see it continue going on because people report it, she needed to be on a write-up and be reprimanded. She should have been terminated before it got to this level. But guess what? They're on the run. And I would dare to say that there's a lot going on with this. But I just wanted to provide an HR perspective to this, because the policies that employers have is to protect employees from situations like this. If I don't know, I don't want to make any claims about Alabama correctional facilities and their in Lauderdale County. But if HR caught wind of this, I don't care how much they lie through their teeth. There's evidence to support that she's showing special attention to this particular inmate. I know there were policies in place to shut that down before it got to 2 years later. They're running off together as she sold her house and switched cars, and they drive off into the sunset. I'm not saying people can't have a relationship, but not an inmate with a director, assistant director of corrections. She's a leadership in CO. Should have known better. I'm sure she was aware of all the policies, she just didn't care. But HR should have been in place if they have. I see every county and every employer set up different. There's some employers that do not empower their HR people. That's unfortunate, but true. But these are the very reasons they have these policies in place, to prevent this kind of issue. I'm going to put the links below for the article so you guys could go through it and read it for yourself. And maybe I'm sure CNN is going to probably report on it more if they get anything, or if they hear anything more. I just wanted to touch on this, guys, because this is something that as an employer, You can prevent this kind of stuff, but you have to be on it. And I don't care if she's a director, manager, Indian chief. Policies are created to make sure you can prevent things like this. Don't tell me nobody knew. You hear clearly Singleton was telling you that it's been going on. Then if it's been going on, why was there not disciplinary action put in place before it got to this level? That's my question. Huh? These are things that's what HR is there for, is to enforce. The policies are there to protect not just the company, but the employees as well. Because if she didn't have that relationship with homeboy, she'd still have a job. I guess you're running off with $95,000. You don't need a job anymore. Hey, riding off into the sunset with your boo. What can I say? I put it to you guys this way. That situation can get upside down. It can get bad very quickly. So I hope for her sake and for his that they do the right thing and turn themselves in, because now she's a suspect and she's probably going to get in some legal trouble. You think, CO? Assistant director of COs? Like, this was dumb. Yeah, you can't help who you love, but you can make decisions. You can make better decisions. Look at how she upheavaled her life for this dude. A criminal like that. In 2015, he was very busy adding to his rap sheet. And if things don't go the right way, or if things go awry, she may be added as a victim on his rap sheet. These are the kind of things HR can help with. That's why the policy to make sure at least 2 people are with you to transport was in place to prevent things like this. That's why fraternization policies, that's why you see the policies, the policies I was reading for employees not to get involved with COs. I know there's a policy for that. I'm not even asking. There has to be a policy in place for that. Was that followed up? Was that enforced? No, which is why you have this disaster of a situation. But guys, of course, if you have questions in regards to things like this in HR, or if you have issues like this, or you're not sure how to maneuver it as an employer, definitely go to mentorshelley.com/contact, where you can leave me a voicemail or an email message. I'm more than happy to return your voicemail or email within 24 hours. If you're an employee, possibly even seeing something like this, of course, you have questions, go ahead and connect with me there as well. The links will be below. It's going to mentorshelley.com/contact. But guys, HR we don't just make up policies because it's fun to get on employees' nerves. These policies, had it been enforced, could have prevented this disaster. Of course, she probably doesn't see it as a disaster yet until he gets mad and puts a bullet in her head. You never know what can happen. This is a very volatile situation. So I'm sure I'll try to keep up with the news and see what's the update on the situation. Hopefully they're both, she's safe, but she made some decisions there, boy. I know. We'll see what happens, guys. Of course, if you have any additional questions or, of course, wanting to connect with me, you can go to mentorshelley.com for consultations. You can go to mentorshelley.com/consultations for that. Or if you have questions, go to mentorshelley.com/contact. Leave a comment if you wanted to, of course, add to what I was talking about. Or if you have a different perspective, of course, comment, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Of course, it is also going to be on my blog as well. And of course, my blog is mentorshelley.com. The links for all of that will be below. Guys, take care. And the link for the article that we were discussing is below as well. I want to leave you with this. There are policies that get on people's nerves, but there are policies such as fraternization. There's policies to not have personal relationships at work with inmates or with other employees, because it can end up disastrous like this, guys. Take care. You have a good one. Bye.